On this week's episode, we talk about Batman Day,
FanX,
Expendables,
and all the pop culture news. This past week was the annual Batman Day. And as Batman Days goes, a series of events and celebrations everywhere. People wearing Batman clothes, shirts, people giving away Batman stickers. The Dark Knight, the Warner Brothers, because because they're desperate for money, and they have a few things that are really good on money making. On the DC side, they brought back the Dark Knight trilogy. The local theater was showing the Dark Knight, and we went to see. And the movie it still holds up. It's really good. Yeah.
Honestly, for me, it gets a little bit better every time I see it because I'm starting to put threads together. There's things that I'd forgotten about or maybe didn't notice the first couple of times that I recognize now. It's a phenomenal film.
Yeah. And in contraposition to Star Trek Day, there was the week before. This one was much better. Because that one was ridiculous. We talked about it already.
Star Trek Day was a glorified commercial, and this one was just like, hey guys, it's Batman Day, so let's watch Batman.
Yeah, and of course DC gave free comic books in the comic book stores, and digital versions as well, as Batman deserves. Anyways.
So happy Batman Day, everybody.
Yeah, well, that was a week ago.
Well, I hope it was a great day.
Yes.
Whenever it was.
Yeah.
Okay, we also went to the theaters to see Expend4bles 4.
Yeah, fourth installment on the Expendables saga.
Yep. They have perhaps... What a catchphrase they have. They'll die when they're dead.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah. Go ahead.
But this one is definitely not as good as the previous three, and sorry.
Oh, also we've been sick.
Yeah, we got sick.
We're doing our best, man.
COVID or whatever, we don't know. It's infecting everybody, and some people claim they have COVID. Some people claim it's just flu season.
I don't know. I tested negative.
I'm always positive, so yes. Anyways,
you are really happy.
So about Expendables, it's definitely not as good as the ones before. It's not terrible. There's some things that are terrible on it. If anything, the one before and the one before and the one before had a lot more people, a lot more Expendables, and they manage everybody really well. On this one, they have way less, and they don't seem to manage characters very well. This time they have girls, pretty girls, because because the society demands, and also because this movie.
But these girls were not the kind of girls that society demands.
They're girls.
They're girls, but they are there for the male gaze.
Diversity. They're girls. They also for the male gaze. So because this movie is for the boys, and boys like girls, and so they have Megan Fox, and I forgot the name, the girl's name, an Asian actress. I think her last name is Tran. Anyways,
I don't remember. She did get a better part though.
Yes.
Of the two, she had a much better part.
Yeah.
And contributed more.
Yeah. Also on this one, the additions of Andy Garcia, of what's his name? I can forget that. Tony Jaa, I think is his name. The Thailand martial arts superstar.
Yeah, he was cool.
You also have the Indonesian superstar from The Raid.
Yes.
Of course, Stallone is back. Dolph Lundgren, Jason Statham, who is basically the lead on this one. And we have Kutcher, Randy Kutcher, I think that's his name, the MMA fighter that talks about his years
Yes.
nonstop. 50
This one,
Cent.
he talked about it so many times. I feel like they were making a joke about it, but it almost felt like a glorified educational film about cauliflower ear.
Yeah, I think on the other three he only mentions once.
Yeah.
So this joke was a callback to that joke, but they extended way too much.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessary. So 50 Cent,
Yep.
a Spanish guy, I can't remember his name, but he's supposed to be Galgo, Antonio Banderas' character's son. So they have a mission, and it's the usual tough, impossible mission, and they take care of it. And there's some stuff that happens. There are kind of tropes in action movies, and some are not even. They are way predictable.
Yeah, things that were supposed to be twists, but like you kind of knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And they also kind of told you it was coming.
There's some. It's very different. It's like even the morals of the characters in general, they very little, but some moment they do stuff that's like, what? They're tough. They
Yeah.
are like rough, but they good guys.
Yeah, like they're anti-heroes, but like
No, they're not
Well, in
anti-heroes.
this one they were anti-heroes.
Oh, in this one, sure.
I feel like like they're chaotic good, and in this one they came across as more chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
For those of you for whom that means anything.
Yeah. Anyways, so Expendables 4 is available everywhere, theaters everywhere. If you get, sorry.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna be such a pleasure to listen to.
If you wanna go watch, you should. The movie is definitely not doing well.
No.
They only did what,
$8 million.
$8 million, which is less than half of what the previous movie did on the same the previous on the first day. But if you're a fan of Sly and everything he does, Jason Statham is fun too. If you like Megan Fox, who else is that has a big crowd fan base? Dolph Lundgren is a classics 80 superhero bad guy. Both action
I
movie.
really didn't like what they did with him in this one.
Yeah. And Andy Garcia is there, but Andy Garcia from Untouchables to this, he went through such a journey. He made other things, he made other really good things, and Tony Jaa is there kicking butt, and Expendables 4 available everywhere.
Yeah. Okay, so Expendables 4 isn't doing so great. Oppenheimer did amazing.
Well, you skipping?
What am I skipping? No, just since we were talking about the box office.
Oh, okay.
We'll just check in with some other box office stuff.
Okay.
So Oppenheimer, after all said and done, the highest grossing biopic in film history.
Yeah.
I don't know if there are any biopics outside of film history. Probably not. Just the way this is worded is amusing to me.
Doesn't sound good.
No, it's fine. It's the highest grossing biopic in film history.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if there are other
In
biopics
history.
that aren't part of film history.
It was a pun. It was a joke.
Okay, anyway. Basically, it did really well. Totally deserved to.
Barbie is doing really well too. I don't think I put a note there, but I think it beat the Avengers, the first one, on the history of box office.
And she's in the IMAX now with additional footage.
Back on IMAX. For more Barbie to see.
Yes. So that's great. Other things doing really well right now is One Piece. It is still the most watched Netflix show of the week.
Yeah.
So.
And it's doing really well comparing to Cowboy Bebop, the recent anime adaptation from Netflix. This one is definitely doing better. It might most likely gonna get a new season.
Oh, it didn't it?
They already announced?
Didn't they already renew for a second season? I feel like we talked about that.
So they did. If we talked about it, they did. If we didn't talk about it, they didn't. So you're gonna have to go back and watch the other episodes.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Do we want to do FanX first or the Continental?
Well, we also saw the Continental. John Wick is actually called the Continental, a story from John Wick world or something like that. On Peacock is a series, mini series, 3 long episodes, and it started as intense as the John Wick movies. This one is even a little bit more visual, interesting. Simplifying, let's say that it's very beautiful. It takes place in the 70s.
Yeah.
New York in the 70s is really trash. I mean, New York is trashy, but back then it was like really trashy.
They even amped it up by setting it during a garbage strike.
Oh yes, oh classic.
So it's like even worse. So it's not just like this is like high crime New York City. It's high crime, nasty garbage city. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, tons of graffiti everywhere, and the photography is really beautiful. They have a really really good visuals, and the cast is really good. Mel Gibson is there, and you have the characters from John Wick, but now young, Winston and Chacha. I can't remember his name. The black dude.
Lance Reddick's character.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
And I was wondering if you're gonna see Samuel L. Jackson's character too.
You mean Lawrence Fishburne?
That's what I said. Yeah.
Yep. Sorry.
Yeah, the Bowery King.
Years.
They're all the same.
Yeah.
Bowery
no.
King. Bowery King. But we'll see. We start watching the first episode.
We met
one
somebody
episode.
who totally could be him.
One episode one episode every Friday for 3 Fridays. So more coming next week, and we can talk about more as we watch, as we conclude.
So far, it's living up to its place in the John Wick world.
Yeah.
So cool. Okay.
FanX, the South Lake
gosh.
Comic Convention, pop culture and convention. They have like a long name and
it's a whole thing.
and tags and subnames but it's fun. So we went there as we do every year, and let's quick think about a checklist of big guests. There was guests from Star Wars. Well, sort of. Star Wars shows.
Yeah. Star Wars shows, yes. Katie Sackhoff, Gina Carano,
Ashley Eckstein, Matt Lanter, James Arnold Taylor, James
Arnold Taylor.
Okay, Harry Potter.
James and Oliver Phelps.
Yeah.
Weasley twins.
Yes. Star Trek.
Oh my gosh. So many. We had Gates McFadden, Denise Crosby, and Michael Dorn.
Okay. Doctor Who.
Oh man. Alex Kingston, Arthur
Darvill. Yeah. Darvill.
And Karen Gillan.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings.
John Rhys Davies.
Yes. And Indiana Jones.
John Rhys Davies.
Yeah. And
Allison Duty, but we were there for John Rhys Davies.
What else? Big. Marvel. Anyone from Marvel?
Karen Gillan.
That's true. Karen Gillan from Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy.
I feel like I'm probably overlooking somebody really important. Oh, of course, Charlie Cox.
Kristen Ritter.
Vincent
D'Onofrio.
Yes,
and Carrie Ann Moss. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
from the Netflix. Daredevil. We have like some crazy news about Daredevil. We're gonna talk about that later. But DC, we had Shazam, had Zach Levi, you had
and Jack Dylan Grazer.
Yeah, and Back to the Future. They had a lot of people from Back to the Future. Christopher Lloyd, Michael J. Fox, Tom Wilson.
Yes.
And what's the name of the other guy?
James Tolkien. Not to be confused with.
Not J.R.R.R. Tolkien.
Not James Tolkien. James Tolkien is.
and TV, you had Jared Padalecki. I think that's his name.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, from Supernatural.
And his wife Genevieve.
And from Texas Ranger. Joe McHale. But let's go in parts. So we went to con, and there was always really nice people in really nice clothes, and meaning cosplays. All sorts of characters from all sorts of fandoms. So many fandoms that there's some that's like, honestly, it's like I have no idea who that is. It looks good. Good job.
Yeah.
But I don't know who you are.
For me, it's like the anime that do this. Their costumes are so cool. but I have no idea who they are. So we'll go up to people and be like, hey, can I take a picture? And they're like, do you want both of us? Like, we're from different shows.
Oh, I thought you were just walking.
I don't know who you are. You just look fantastic. So
Yeah.
that's...
But yeah,
wow.
great cosplayers, great
Yeah.
costumes. We took pictures. We're eventually gonna post all of them. We're gonna work on them.
In fact, as we post them, if you recognize a fandom and we missed it, comment and label it. Give us the hashtags because we'll.
Oh yeah, and if it's yourself or a friend, tag yourself, tag the friends, tag your family. Anyways, so you know, the floor with all the cosplayers, with great vendors.
Yeah, so many great artists, really. Yeah.
Yeah, so there was a floor. Another cool part of FanX, you have the floor where you can buy, you know, all sorts of merch from your fandom. You have the celebrities that come, and the celebrities that come, they come to sign autographs. They have a celebrity row where they sit on tables and they sign autographs. They sell pictures with their faces or posters from their work. They have they can sign whatever you bring too. They charge a small fee and you can get whatever. There's like people that took Back to the Future poster and got signatures from Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, Wilson, and Tolkien, and got the whole collection. So you have a chance to talk to them a little bit at the desk, get an autograph, and some get selfies and stuff like that. Other things they do is a photo op. They there's a company that comes, organize everything with FanX, and you go through a curtain and take picture of your idol, and yeah, they print there. Really nice picture. There's that. Which we did one. We did one with
Gates McFadden, Dr. Beverly Crusher.
From Star Wars. From Star Trek.
He's so good at pushing buttons.
Well, our little girl, when we were leaving, she saw a shirt. Did you think she read something? She read Star and made up the rest.
I don't know. I don't think. Those are 4-year-olds.
She's learning how to read.
She is learning how to read it. Yeah. So he's wearing a Star Trek shirt. She takes one look at it and says,
"You're wearing a Star Wars shirt."
Yeah.
Yeah. But no. So Gates McFadden, Dr. Beverly Crusher from Star Trek New Generation, the show.
Next Generation.
What did I say?
New Generation.
Which it was a New Generation.
Yes, but
in Portuguese it's actually called the New.
Oh really?
Nova Geração. Yeah, the New Generation.
Oh, okay.
So, Star Trek Next Generation, the series, the movies, Picard, at this point a classic character from Next Generation of Star Trek.
Yeah.
And she was nice.
Yes.
It's very quick. The photo ops, you take a picture, walk away. I tried to shake her hand.
2 seconds.
She refused. She bumped my hand because she claimed she didn't want to give me her germs.
Really? She
which
didn't
I was
want
there.
fan germs? That's a
which I
very
was
polite
there
way
for.
of saying, I don't want your fan germs on me.
Yeah, well,
which is totally fair.
Well, yeah, sure, it's fine. Which I kind of say because I was there for her germs. No, not really. But when you bump each other's hands, I don't see much difference between, you know.
I don't know. I don't know a lot about how
if anything, it's probably more
germs move.
contact.
Yeah.
Probably
not. I don't know.
Anyways, lovely woman. We're grateful she came. We took the picture, and I'm grateful she didn't give me germs. So yeah, salute to her and her fans.
Yeah.
And also the celebrities do panels. They go to the ballroom, the great ballroom, and they have small rooms where they do panels. They sit down, sometimes with a moderator, sometimes by themselves.
Which is always better.
And they talk a little bit about themselves and they answer questions to the audience, from the audience. This time, because of the strike, the WGA strike, the SAG-AFTRA strike, which also we're going to talk a little bit more on the news section, as all the cons been doing, they invite these people and they come, but they find agreements to not compromise their roles
To not
towards
break the strike.
there are roles towards their union, because they part of the union, so they are on strike. So and the rules are basically they cannot speak about their work, past, present, and future, which sort of, and you saw that, you heard of things like that in San Diego and other cons.
Yeah.
And it sort of limits, because the fans are there, the Back to the Future fans are there to know about Back to the Future.
Exactly. It's very relevant here because like that's why we come. That's why we care about them. Like I'm sure Katie Sackhoff is a wonderful human being, but I care about her because she gave us Bo-Katan Kryze, right? So like that's what I want to talk about. But we couldn't do that this time.
So there were the rules. Another rule concerning, we were there doing press, doing media for the show, and usually take pictures of the floor, of the cosplayers, also the guests, the talents on the panels, and don't be surprised, but sorry, but you're not gonna see pictures of the panels on our page, because as part of the rules, we were guests of the con, and they asked us to not take pictures of any panels. So that's why you're not gonna see celebrity pictures on our pages this time around. But back to the panels, the questions were limited, and some were even more drastic, because as guests, as press, as part of the press, we were not allowed to take pictures, but fans could take pictures, perfectly fine. But there were some panels that were even more limited. Nobody could take pictures or videos. But concerning the questions, they couldn't talk about their work. So people were creative about what to ask. They asked personal questions, not very personal questions, but
I don't know, some of them got pretty deep. Someone asked the Star Trek cast like how they want to be, what they want to have happen to their remains after they die.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
So some were kind of personal, but yeah, others were lighthearted, goofy.
Which was interesting, because we got to know them in different ways. In the times of social media, we know a lot about these people. I mean, if you want, you get to know a lot about these people that you usually don't. But this time, people ask them questions that, I don't know, people would probably never ask on a con. Some people might. Some people probably didn't change their question at all.
Yeah.
But it was a very, very interesting.
Overall, I really liked it because and I think it seems like the celebrities are enjoying this too, because they kind of get, especially once they start going to a few cons, they start to get the same questions over and over because the fans are all there because of the same roles. And they want to know about, well, like John Rhys Davies, for example, gets asked about Orlando Bloom all the time. Or about like, oh, that one time or that one scene. But something I really liked this time is a lot of people were asking about like them as actors, not about specific roles, but like asking about their process as actors and auditioning, and why do they do this, and how do they get through such, like how do they survive such a challenging industry, and things like that. And so we got to see a whole different side and really got to know them more like as actual people and as actors and as like artists and craftsmen, and not just like as characters, if that makes sense. I don't know, it was cool. I kind of hope we stick with it.
No.
I mean, not exactly, but like I hope we retain some of the more interesting questions instead of the same. I don't know.
I think for me the only advantage was, I mean, sure, you got to know some of about these people, but at the same point you learn that some of these people are kooky. They are like,
I mean, we knew that already.
Weird. Yeah, but some was like when they speak for themselves about some of that weirdness, I was like, oh. Anyways, but one thing that I thought was interesting, it's like sometimes the they there for the fans, and sometimes the moderator are gonna ask a question. Oh, ask a
Oh my
question. They fan. What they call it? Fan up. They fan. Starstruck. Fan.
Yeah, the fanboys, starstruck,
fan out.
geek out.
Anyway, so in the I don't know, half or 1/3 of the panel, the moderator talks about, and then when it comes to fans, they don't have a lot of time. So this time the moderators, okay, let's go to the questions, which I think is better.
It's so much better. I understand it's important to have the moderators there. They do help out sometimes. For example, Christopher Lloyd, who, oh my gosh, this is apparently, he said this is his last con, so it was really special to be there for that. But some of the older celebrities like Christopher Lloyd had a hard time hearing and understanding the questions because of the sound system. And so having the moderator there to help understand the questions, help kind of bridge any awkward gaps, things like that, it was good. But yeah, they really demonstrated this time, like, it is so much better when the moderator sits back and just lets the panel happen.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah. On this, kudos to Chris Provost. He's awesome. He's the MC. He's the official MC. And this, I mean, he always moderates some panels, but this time we see him moderating more, and he does great. He was like, he would intervene very little, but when he do, would be interesting, would be funny. He would become part of the joke. To change some things because he tells jokes poorly. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, we saw some panels. Let's see if we can get anything from them. Ralph Macchio and William Zabka. What I can tell, I remember that Zabka would be in a band. Someone asked what they would do if they were not actors. Zabka would be in a band. Macchio would be.
And he plays like a ton of different kinds of guitars. Like,
he would be
he's really good.
It'd be a lawyer, if you can remember. Anyways,
I don't remember.
From John Rhys Davis.
This guy.
What remember? John Rhys Davis. He had a big crush on Sean Connery. Apparently, Sean Connery is the biggest of men.
He said he's the most alpha
the
male
most alpha man. I'm not disagreeing.
Ever met.
But he says, like, his eyes. You look at his eyes and his lips. There were like women in the front row, like having orgasms just by, because also the voice of John Rhys Davis is like, Sean Connery's eyes and his lips and his chest. Yeah. So there's that. I learned that Alison Doody is actually Irish. The character is super German. I would never guess. Anything else about that one?
Accent. He's got a theme he keeps coming back to. We saw him 4 years ago, and he keeps talking about this. Do the very best work you can at whatever it is you do, and do it kindly and generously. And a lot of his stories come back to that. It's kind of a repeated mantra, and he really embodies that. He's just a lovely human being.
And the voice, he's Gimli, and then it was like, next, it was fun.
He switches. A few people came up with, anyway, he switches into and out of his characters. He's really great at playing the crowd and playing his fans. He knows why people love him, and he's very generous with. From
Alexander Daddario and Jacob Bell, it was very entertaining. I was surprised. I have no idea who Jacob Bell was. I probably saw him on something.
Yeah, he was in the Percy Jackson.
But on other things too, because I don't remember. Oh, they were both together on the Percy Jackson. So that was a Percy Jackson panel?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's why that girl, this is one of my favorite questions. This girl walked up and she said, okay, so are you guys planning on watching any adaptations on any particular streaming services?
Okay.
Anytime soon?
Okay, talk about the Disney.
Yeah.
The new Disney adaptation.
Percy Jackson.
That was canceled already, right? Was that one? There was a Disney show that was not even came out and already canceled. It wasn't that one, right?
I don't think it was that one.
But that one doesn't. There's like not a lot of good news from that one. Anyways, so it was fun. It was very entertaining. I can't remember anything about.
Because it's not really our fandom.
He doing very funny jokes. Her cost sometimes. Then we saw the Star Trek panel. Michael
Uh-huh.
Dorn, Denise Crosby, and Gates McFadden. Michael Dorn started telling jokes because when Chris is on the floor, Chris Provost, he tells jokes, and then the guy they arrived, the guests arrived, and then he started telling jokes about nuns. It's like a nun died and went to heaven, and the pearly gates encountered
So many nun jokes.
son Peter, and
Yeah.
then McFadden told a joke, and then
Crosby.
Diana Crosby, Denise Crosby
Crosby.
told a joke. And yeah, and it was very fun and very entertaining. And nothing Star Trek because it was not allowed.
Yep.
But they really used their time well, including talking about the French pornographer John Lecoq. I'm gonna leave it there.
Not a pornographer. He's a choreographer. Gates McFadden was able to work with Jacques
Yeah.
Lecoq.
I learned that. I learned that she danced apparently. I didn't know that.
And she does choreograph, and in fact, she worked on not Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah, she
So
mentioned David Bowie.
Yeah, she choreographed David Bowie. And yeah.
Cool. Okay, on the Karen Gillan, Arthur Darrow, Alex Kingston, allegedly Doctor Who panel, with 3 big names from the series.
Oh yeah, these 3 characters, they were huge. Really, really important.
But again, no Doctor Who allowed.
Mm-hmm.
So they talk about careers, washing machines, and lamps made out of faces.
Yeah, apparently Karen Gillan loves horror. Arthur
Alex,
Darville is a big reader.
Alex Kingston, like hats. She picks up professions, I guess, roles based on hats. Anyways,
I don't know. But they are truly delightful.
yeah.
So
then we went to see the Wayne Knight panel. Newman from Seinfeld.
he was so fun.
Deidre from Jurassic Park.
Yep.
And the cop from 30 Rock from The Sun, and so many other funny roles.
So many great roles.
We found out that he was very bold to start his career. He moved to New York with barely any money on his pocket.
Yeah.
He made up a resume, delivered to the theater, Broadway, got the role, and started working and never give up.
Well, he went to a play and was like, I can do that role. I can do that better.
Yeah.
And he got the role.
He was already an actor, so he was invested, and he said one counsel he gave to beginners that and he said the way he got it was like stupid, and he counseled people was like, be stupid,
Don't be too smart.
Yeah,
don't be too full of yourself.
Yeah, it pays off. And you also learned that he was a PI, private investigator.
No, he didn't play one, because that's what we were all thinking, I think. Like, oh, no, he didn't play one. He actually was one.
Yeah.
And he's writing a book about it.
Yes.
And based on what he told us,
yeah, I know, it's good.
There's some crazy stories in there.
Yeah. And so that was, we checked out this panel with the great Jim Starlin, DC Comics and Marvel Comics artist. That, among other things, created Thanos, Dreadstar, revamped Captain Marvel, and killed Captain Marvel. Revamped Walden Warlock, killed Robin, killed half of the Marvel Universe on Infinity Gauntlet. He wrote Infinity Gauntlet.
You thought Infinity War and Endgame was intense? Nothing on the comic book.
Yeah, and it was great. He talked about some of his work. People had good questions, and it's always good to see, especially for me, because I've read some of these when I was a kid, and I'm good with names, and I
excuse me, sorry.
And I knew those names. I remember those names. I would connect the names with the art, the names with the writing. I was like, oh, I really like this. I really like Starling. I really like Lim. I really like Jim Lee and Jack Kirby, Stan Lee, and Ditko. I knew the names, and it was always really nice to see the face. I mean, the face we see online, but to see the person talking, to see the person talking, putting a voice, a face to the name that is already big in fandom in our heads.
Yep.
We also saw Daredevil panel with Christian Ritter, Charlie Cox, Carrie Ann Moss, and Vincent D'Onofrio. Again, no Daredevil was seen for Miles. We did see a Miles Morales panel, but anyways, and yeah, what do you remember that? What was interesting on that one?
Kristen Ritter is goofy. Excuse me, I'm so sorry.
Vincent D'Onofrio again gave us a master class on script. Script, is that called? Script analysis.
Script analysis, which, as you may have already inferred, is the process of analyzing the script.
Yeah.
And pulling analyzing the script and pulling out everything you can from the script to flesh out your character and figure out where your character fits in the great tableau of the script. Anyway.
Yeah.
I actually really love that moment. I love seeing them as, like I mentioned before, like as artists and craftsmen when they talk about like how they do this work and what goes into it and how they come up with these characters. Some of them just like roll into it. They don't really have to act or anything, but like D'Onofrio and the kind of roles he plays, like he's all over the place. The man's an actor and he's so good at this. And it was cool to see, like, a big part of why he's good at it is that he freaking loves it. And he's fun. We'd seen him before. He's a great panelist. If you ever get a chance to see him, he's so cool. He's very thoughtful, very intelligent, very interesting. Charlie Cox is so convincing as Daredevil that for me it was a little disorienting to see him like making eye contact with people and also speaking with a British accent. It's like, nope, you're American and blind. But no, that's just the role he plays on TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
So well done him for doing that so naturally that it's weird to see him as his normal self.
Christian Ritter's favorite date is to go bowling because apparently she's really good at bowling.
Yeah.
But she's not
so don't
really
let her
good
hustle
at
you.
talking to people. Anyways, not that she was mean. It's just like she was asked questions, and I get some of the questions are like, "What? What's your favorite cheese?" Then John McHale brought the house down. It was really funny.
He's so funny.
He made
wildly
jokes.
Inappropriate, but so funny.
He made jokes about he picked on the local community, Utah community, LDS Mormons, and he makes joke about coffee, about a soda, about the soda.
He did his research.
Places,
he was like, "All right,
soda
guys."
places we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
By the way, we have soda places that serve soda with syrup. And it's a thing here. I don't know if it's a thing anywhere else, but it's a thing here.
It's starting to export a little bit, but just to describe the intensity of the Utah soda shop phenomenon, within like 2 miles of our house, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different soda shops.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he basically
we're all good.
He basically created a war, putting one against the others, and yeah, he also debunked the Loch Ness monster. Someone asked about it. It was funny, and yeah, it was funny. I really liked it.
Yeah, and for all his, I've always imagined him as like having a hard time, like having a real relationship because everything he always plays such a sarcastic d-bag, but like he's been married for years. And he's got kids. And I was like, wait a second. Acting. Way to go.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just like that and the wife likes it. I
don't know.
Anyways, it's not. I doubted that he's acting. I think he's like that all the time. You saw him speaking there. He's like, his characters are always, funny guys. They're always have a quick wit. He speaks things.
I'm sure he's always like funny and I'm sure there's always a lot of sarcasm, but like, I don't know that he's necessarily like the a-hole d-bag that he usually plays.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think it's much. I think he amplifies a little bit, but I don't think he's like, "Hey, honey, did you stop by the bank and get a new checkbook? No. Anyways.
Because it's 2023, man.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's like trivialities. He would probably make a joke to ask about. Anyways, we also saw a panel with Shamik Amour, the voice actor that does
Miles
Morales on Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, and eventually Beyond the Spider-Verse. It was fun. He talked about his music. He talked about his cookie beliefs.
He's really into manifesting.
Yeah, but he doesn't believe in dinosaurs.
I'll admit, that was a disappointment.
But he believed in cavemen, which was
I expected more from you, Shamik.
How is that? But I guess people live in caves no matter what, I guess. Yeah. There's people in Utah that still live in caves. Anyways, next there was another big, funny one. Zach Levi and Jack Dylan Grazer. And they worked so well together.
They do. Basically, who they are in Shazam, like that's their relationship in real life.
Yeah, no,
it's adorable.
This is really fun. Too bad that most likely never gonna see them working again, because Shazam, I don't think he's gonna live in the new James Gunn DC.
James Gunn, I think you're right.
But it was great. Very, very, very smart, very clever. And he also gives some good counsel. Love each other, love yourself.
Yeah, they actually both talked about having faith in God. They didn't get into too many specifics, but they briefly mentioned how that had been really important for them.
Yeah.
Through different struggles, and Zachary Levi's been through some stuff, and he's very open about it. He's very encouraging of people like getting help and not being alone and all that stuff.
Yeah, he wrote a book, so
yep.
If you want to check, you can check. I don't remember the name of the book. And last but least, we saw some Back to the Future panels with James Tolkien, Tom Wilson, Christopher Lloyd. Very entertaining. Tom Wilson again, super fun. That's an actor.
That's an entertainer.
Because Biff, he's a jerk. There's no sympathy for Bill.
That's true. There's zero redeeming qualities.
Good old classic bad guy villain, and he's the opposite. He's funny, entertaining. He's
friendly, affable,
and he entertained the house. Was very funny.
Yep. And Christopher. So there's the panels where. It's interesting. Some of them were interesting, informative. Some of them were very funny. Some were insightful. And then there's the people like Christopher Lloyd who come out, and I just feel this wave of nostalgia and gratitude, because Christopher Lloyd is one of those voices, one of those faces who was a big part of so many happy memories I have growing up, watching Back to the Future with my parents, especially my dad. And anyway, so he walks out and starts talking, and you're just like, oh. For me it's like seeing the Disney princesses at Disneyland, where all of a sudden you're just like a kid again, and magic is real, and cars can fly, and it's just really emotional, maybe embarrassingly emotional as I say all this, but anyway, it was just really great to see him and to have a chance to express our appreciation for this lifetime of work and lifetime of over his career, just making our lives better with these great films that he's made. Anyway, it was really cool.
Yeah, and that's it. And FanX have so many other things. We could definitely not see everything, and you cannot talk about everything here. But for our pages, we're gonna post the pictures of everything cool we saw.
And if you ever get a chance to attend a comic convention, whether it's a FanX production or any others, take it. It's just so fun. It's all about creativity and loving things and being yourself in a really cool way. It's just a blast.
Yeah, there's for all tastes and fandoms. There's part for the kids. There's sections for little kids, for young adults, for old adults.
We had NASA come, legit rocket scientists were there talking about what NASA's up to.
Yeah. So yeah, you should definitely go FanX every September. So next year, as soon as they start selling, get tickets. You get cheaper if you get before, and should go there. It's big. They get a lot of talent from everywhere.
Yep.
Anyways, let's go to the news.
Whew, yeah. So now that we've had this whole big convention where we were so careful and so respectful of the strike and these actors' contracts, it looks like the AMPTP might finally be making progress.
Yeah, apparently they have they getting close to. They made a final offer, best and final offer for the WGA, and the response is expected tomorrow. So tomorrow, I guess they're gonna say yes. If it's the best and final, they cannot say no. I mean, I guess they could, but.
And the WGA's been at this for 5 months.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
So tomorrow you're gonna find out. I assume once the WGA, because one of the biggest requests is about residuals, which includes actors too. So I assume once the WGA settles, the SAG-AFTRA might settle.
I would hope so.
Pretty quick after. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But there's still things going on because the strike. So Drew Barrymore restarted her show. Kick WGA people people with WGA pins from her studio. Got in trouble. Apologized. Got in trouble. And anyways, so she says she's gonna pause. She's not gonna do her show for now. All the people that were doing it too. So, I'm not gonna do it. I have COVID. And so, yeah, they've been coming up with excuses, so not to do it because, or at least to compensate the fact that they were doing it or about to do it. It's like, no, I'm not a bad person. As a matter of fact, I have COVID. It's like Kevin Spacey. I'm not a bad person. As a matter of fact, I'm gay. Anyways,
That was the worst.
But yeah, the late night shows hosts. They were doing work when the actors and the writers were on strike. They did a podcast,
and they were going to do a live show.
And they were took into Las Vegas, and also one of them claimed that has COVID, so not to do it. They realized, like, geez, guys, we've been the bad guys. So suddenly, cough, and not doing it too. Bill Maher delaying his real-time return for now because of the strike. So the strike is messing the industry, and let's see, because as soon as they end the strike, it's not gonna start shooting right away. There's much to be done.
Well, presumably they've got to actually write the shows.
Yeah.
But
but some things they stopped. They already written. There's several productions that are on hold, but they have the script and have the cast that they're ready to go. But even those will not come back right away. Anyways.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Ashton Kutcher. Oh no, Lionsgate is also. They're not signing any new deals, I guess.
Yeah, they suspend writers and producers deals. The deals they already had. Jennifer Hudson delayed the premiere of her show, her talk show, daytime talk show. Yeah. And talking about getting in trouble, like Drew Barrymore got in trouble for this whole mess. She was kicked off a award ceremony that she would present. But talking about getting in trouble, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, they wrote a letter to Danny Masterson. That was sentenced guilty for rape.
Yeah, he got 30 years.
Yeah, but they wrote him a letter. They were friends, and they wrote him a letter, I guess.
They wrote him a letter, but they'd also written a letter to the judge, like kind of a character type thing. Asking the judge to be lenient.
Yeah. But he was sentenced guilty, and the letter leaked, and people are, reacting to it. And for that, Kutcher lost his seat on the board, anti-sex abuse org board.
So he's been quite active and prominent in the fight against sexual abuse and sex trafficking and things like that. And so I think that's part of why people were so especially shocked here. It's not a great look anyway to be like, hey, judge, be nice to my rapist friend. Even though I get this has got to be so hard for them because they don't know him as a rapist. He didn't attack them. They knew him as a friend. Like, I get that's really hard. But anyway, it was still a pretty bad look. So yeah, he stepped down.
Another in trouble is Hasan Minhaj that was caught making up stories of racism and straight up lying on his show.
He's told some pretty intense stories about racial discrimination, things happening to him, things happening to his kids, and they are detailed, they're disturbing. And yeah, apparently he's been making a lot of it up.
Yeah, so he got in trouble. I think it was Washington Post what does that say?
I don't remember. I heard about it on NPR. It was really disappointing. And he was saying like, well, it's stand up. Stand up is told first person. I put myself at the center of the story because like that's how the genre works. But like,
but
he also had a news show for a long time, and it's not just like
he was. I think it was
stand up funny stories. This is like. Someone tried to give my kid anthrax. Like, that's different.
Yeah, he also was one of the top of the list to take over the Daily Show. It's like, straight up lying, got caught, and he's coming up with excuses. Oh, it's just a joke. It's not like Jim Gaffigan said that he ate an entire cake. You know, if that's true or not, that doesn't matter. It's a joke.
Really matter,
but when you create like a truth that you know,
when you say the cops beat me up outside of my mosque, but they didn't beat you up, like that's
Anyways, Bob Ross' first painting sold from the Joy of Painting was sold from nearly $10 million. Anyways, good for him. Byron Allen offers $10 billion for Disney's ABC, FX, and National Geographic. And ABC might be up for sale. Disney is losing money. It's in a crisis after all making for the whole woke garbage they've been preaching. And it's almost a fact that they're going to get rid of ABC.
Yeah. End of an era. Speaking of ending things, Keanu Reeves, at the end of filming John Wick Chapter 4, begged them to kill the character. And apparently he actually begs for that, like, at the end of every movie. It's such a brutal process to make these movies. He's like, please just kill him now, because I can't do it again. But he's such a great guy. He just comes back
and for an actor, I believe, is to do the same character over and over. They want diversity. They want to do different things.
Yeah, but I guess like the process of making John Wick, like what he has to learn, what he has to do, apparently is just really hard.
Okay.
Anyway, if you're waiting for Star Citizen, keep waiting.
Yeah, but it's getting close. Even though it costs more than $600 million now, but they're on alpha stage, so it's getting there.
That's right. Not even like a pre-release beta. I don't know. This better be an amazing game. Okay, a few cancellations. The Wonder Years reboot, Winning Time. Those were both canceled. But it's not all bad news.
So they only had 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Yellowstone, CBS premiered Yellowstone on CBS on broadcast. It was a streaming show, and it did incredible.
Yeah.
Which is opening people's eyes at the industry. It's like, hey, you can do that. Disney tried that and failed big time, but Disney's been failing on a lot. But they tried that with Miss Marvel, and
that's right.
And it failed big time. But anyways.
A Buffy sequel has been announced with 8 original cast members returning. So that's very exciting.
Vanna White got her contract extended, and she will be back to the Wheel of Fortune for at least 2 more years.
Tim Burton was not thrilled about the cameos in The Flash.
Yeah, he's accusing Warner Brothers of cultural appropriation. He was not consulted, he was not asked, he just did it.
The reason why this happened is he's the one who had cast Nicolas Cage as Superman. That was going to be his movie. And they used that for cameos in The Flash, which honestly I really liked, but I get what he's saying. All right, what's going on with Aquaman?
Rumors of Aquaman screening where people left the theater. And knowing Aquaman's comic book story, there's his little baby boy dies, is killed gruesomely in the books, and there's rumors that might happen in the show, and that would kick people out of the theaters. It's not clear, but people did get out of the theater doing a screening.
Yikes. Okay. What's going on with... We've got this really glaring tweet about an old Disney scam where they rename a series to reset contract terms.
Yeah, the creator, the showrunner of Daredevil, Netflix is accusing Disney of like renaming and tweaking and doing something completely different, which is not a surprise that Disney gonna ruin. They're gonna disgrace Daredevil because come on, Netflix did a terrific job. If you don't follow that pattern, you're gonna fail, and it's probably gonna happen.
I don't know why they feel like they need to go back and like do it again. Like
about fail, the director Nia DaCosta, I think that's the name, director of the Marvels. It's not the first time, but she again sounded like she gave up on the Marvels even before the movie came out. First, she was saying a couple weeks ago that there is a such thing as superhero fatigue. I was like, oh, geez, she's already justifying the fact that her movie sucks. And this week she went beyond and said that she gave up control of the movie to Kevin Feige.
She said she had to.
She said it's his movie.
Yep.
It's so. It's clearly this movie is gonna fail, and the director's already, throwing the movie and the producer under the bus because she's basically it's bad, but it's not my fault. But
I don't blame her, though.
But it's in part her fault.
I mean, a little bit, but we know that this is what happens with Marvel movies. Kevin Feige doesn't let just like with Kathleen Kennedy and Star Wars, like they don't let their directors actually make these movies. Anyway.
Well, so we know, and she knew.
I mean,
guess money. Anyways,
I don't know. I appreciate her honesty with that.
Directors. Taika Waititi, Star Wars project was canceled at the same time that his Thor 5 is not gonna happen. At least not with him. He's out of the project.
I love Taika Waititi. I have not loved what he did with Thor, and I was not looking forward to his Star Wars.
Guillermo del Toro and David Goyer worked. They also got their they had a Star Wars movie working together. That would be so good, and it was canceled.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Goyer also this week came out to say that for the Dark Knight. Was for the Dark Knight? Yeah, for the Dark Knight he didn't want Bale. He wrote the Dark Knight. He wanted Jake Gyllenhaal, and he also said that before Batman vs Superman. They should do a sequel for Man of Steel, and for Man of Steel, he said that was it Tony Scott? Oh gosh, I can't remember. But they said they had another name to drag. Well, anyways, that's the past. It didn't happen. It's barely news. Yep. And last but not least,
multiple Magic Kingdom attractions had to close at Disney World because of a bear.
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh got crazy and started biting those garbage cult followers. Anyways,
apparently Joel McHale was actually bit by a bear on production.
Oh, it was probably animal
animal control.
He couldn't say. Yeah. But anyways, that's it for this week. So I have next week we come back. I'm gonna watch The Creator and some other fun. And then come back with fun news. May the force be with you.
Live long and prosper.
Bye.
Bye.